Hello, hello, hello. Happy Saturday, everybody. We are officially almost at the end of January 2021. We have done it, y'all. I hope that you all are doing well. For those of you who do not know me, I am Nija Drakes, founder of Spark Her Blaze, and I wanted to come live today because we are so close to February to talk about love, amor, all those nice things that in February just starts to be so popular. You got the pink everywhere and the red everywhere and the little balloons and all the little I love you and those little, oh, I like this time of year because those little sweet tart things. I don't remember what they're called, but they're the little hearts that have the little cute messages that taste tart. I love that. I do look forward to those this time of year. But this is the time where all the things love start popping up everywhere. And for many women, we are expecting, maybe hoping, waiting for uh, getting the gift or the different things that come with February and this love season that we're in. And I got to tell you, for a long time, I was that girl. I was the girl who was waiting for the flowers and the candies and the hearts. And I was like, oh, for years I didn't have someone. I was fretting, like, oh my gosh, who's going to like show me that they love me? And this is part of the reason why I developed what I call a love practice, a practice of love. And let me just tell you, you could be in a marriage, in a relationship whereby you still are not getting those things. And so having a love practice really is a game changer in terms of positioning you and putting you in a position where you don't are not waiting for somebody to fill for you what you need to be filling yourself. And so that's why I want to share with you my love practice. I want to show you 7 practical ways that you can start implementing today, ways to implement your love practice. If you do not have one, you need one. I promise you, you need a love practice, and get your pen and paper so I can walk you through kind of 7 ways that you can implement a love practice today. So when I think about love practices, I think about where did I first learn about love? And I think for most of us, the first place we learn about love is in our familial relationship, in our family of origin or whoever raised us. That's kind of where we got the first clues about what love looked like. So I'm going to kind of share what I've learned about love, what the evidence of love looks like, right? Because there's one thing to say you love somebody, but then there's another thing that comes along with love that really helps you understand if it's really there. And that's the evidence. You can see a trail, you can see evidence that love exists. And so I want to share with you, kind of from the family of origin, there were a few things that happened that showed me that I was loved. There was kind of an anticipation of my needs and a desire to meet those needs. There was a looking out for my best interest. There was a building up, a desire for me to grow. I saw certain investments in me. I also saw patience with some of my mistakes, and I also saw that there were gifts. I got gifts as a way, as a physical, tangible way of expressing love. So when it comes to yourself, what are those physical, tangible, practical ways that you are expressing and demonstrating love to yourself? And this is where the practice comes in. So the first way that you can do this, and why is this important? This is important, y'all, because the way we love ourselves, the way we love God, that is foundational to all the rest of our relationships. So if our relationship with God and our relationship with ourselves is kind of jacked up, our relationships, whether personal or professional, are likely going to be kind of jacked up too. And so this is why a practice, a love practice, is so critical, because it is instrumental in helping to cultivate the kind of relationships you want to have outside of yourself. All right. So the first way to develop a love practice is to, one, Know your needs. That is something that when you're in love, when a parent is in love with a child, the baby starts crying and they're like, "Ooh, what do they need?" Or, does she need a diaper change? Does she need to be picked up? There is a certain um, desire and physical expression of trying to determine what that child needs. So my question to you is, do you know what you need? And the experts will tell you that there are between 4 and 7 needs that each of us has. And I think it's important for us. I like the 7 because I like to be specific. I like more details instead of less. And so there are 7 needs that we should be inventorying, that we should be assessing with ourselves as to whether they're being met. And those needs are emotional, they're spiritual, intellectual, social, relational, and safety. Okay, so those are the needs that we have. Now, when's the last time you sat down and said, hey, are my emotional needs being met? Are my spiritual needs being met? Are my intellectual needs being met? Are my social, relational, my safety needs being met? I actually encourage you to get a piece of paper on the left-hand side, write down those needs. And on the right side, actually indicate ways that you are currently meeting those needs. And if you are not currently meeting those needs, additional column in ways that you can help meet those needs. Because establishing a practice of love is first assessing what you need and then taking the steps to meet that need. So this week, I want you to start by developing a practice of understanding your needs. And when I talk about physical needs, for me, my physical needs are often related to working out and eating well and drinking water and doing things that help to build up my physical needs. Spiritual is about, I have a devotional practice that I do every morning where I sit down and read and journal what I'm learning in the Bible and the practice and the application of it. Intellectual needs. Listen, you want to be around people that are smarter than you so that you can get that intellectual stimulation going. Social needs, connection, our need to connect with not just someone of the opposite sex, but with our friendships, with our girlfriends. That's important. So inventorying again your needs and evaluating how are those needs being met and what changes, what steps can you take within the coming week, within the coming month to help address those needs. Now, the second practice that I use that's part of my love practice is looking out for best interests, looking out for my best interests. When you were a child, again, you expected people to look out for your best interest because in a lot of instances, you could not do that for yourself. You didn't even know what was in your best interest. So you relied on others to do that. And as you become an adult, as you grow into your womanhood, then there is a need for you to look out for your best interest, right? And so what does that look like for you? How do you look out for your best interest? You look out for opportunities to fuel you. You look for ways to preserve your energy and ways to replenish your energy. It could look like taking a nap or taking a time out. It can look like setting boundaries. But what's important is that you are being intentional and practicing ways to look out for your best interests as a way to develop a love practice for you. All right, third way that you can develop a love practice for you is by building up and affirming. If you think about, again, going back to the family of origin, I started thinking about some of the little art projects that I used to bring home from school, right? Barely holding on by a thread, all kind of colors, looking a hot mess. But when I walked through the door, my parents were like, "Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. What is it?" Even if they didn't recognize it, they still were affirming that what I brought home was beautiful and it was nice. And so that is important for us to do, right? As we are developing this love practice. All right. I know that a lot of times people will say, well, Naj, in your love practice, you don't want to just focus on the good. It's about being honest with yourself. You want to focus on the good, the bad, and the ugly. And this is what I tell you. I agree with you to a certain degree. But what I also know is that Most of us are way better at assessing the bad and the ugly than we are about assessing the good. So I want you to take some time as part of your love practice is to think about what's good about you. What are positive things that your friends and family say about you in terms of your attributes? Um, and it could be anything from like you just working out to you're a very giving person, or you're very kind, or you're gracious, or you're collaborative. There's so many different aspects of ourselves that we often overlook that are truly blessings to other people. We are being a blessing to others by allowing those attributes to be expressed through us. It's really just God's love flowing through us in these various areas and ways. And so I want you to think about, as part of your love practice, is creating some affirmations about I am, and finding those attributes about yourself that are special to you, that are unique to you, that God gave you for a purpose, and being real clear about that, because building up and affirming yourself is a beautiful love practice, and so helpful as we try to build other relationships. All right, number 4. The fourth way that you can build a love practice is by investing in you. I know my kids will tell you that I had them in all kinds of activities, from architecture to soccer to art to whatever. I was putting them in the lessons and doing all the things. And that is a way, investing in your relationship with yourself, investing in others, is a way that we show love. And so one of the ways that you can develop a love practice with yourself is by investing in yourself. If there is a dance class you wanted to take, or maybe you wanted to pick back up um, tennis. I know right now we're in a quarantine and we can't get out as much, but there's YouTube. There are online classes now that you can participate in those areas that you want to invest in you. Maybe you were an artist when you were younger and you want to pick that back up again. Investing in you by taking courses, reading books, doing the things that are going to build you up and place you in a position where you are advancing and growing into what it is you were designed to become. So that's going to be your fourth love practice that you can implement. All right, so the fifth love practice. The fifth way that I practice love regularly to myself is that I expect mistakes. Listen, when you were little, okay, they knew when you were little and you were a toddler that you were probably going to make a mess. You were probably going to break up some stuff. You were probably going to write on some walls. But none of that detracted from the love that your family of origin had for you. And so when we think about a love practice towards ourselves, it should be the same way. The messes that we make, the mistakes, the errors, the times where we get off course, they should in no way diminish our love towards each other and our loves toward ourselves. And so if you expect that you're not going to be perfect, that you're going to be imperfectly perfect, perfectly imperfect, right? Then you're allowed to extend yourself grace, and you're allowed to love yourself anyway. And I want you and your love practice to get into a pattern, a practice of loving you anyway. And even when you make a mistake, because I know sometimes we think, oh, but Naj, I did mess that up. You know what? You did mess that up, but there is always something positive to put on the end of that thing that maybe didn't go the way you planned. So, like, hey, I made a mistake this week, but I learned something so that I don't do it again, or I've grown as a result of that mistake or that issue. So getting to a place where you are expecting that mistakes will come allows you to really extend yourself grace in a way that is loving and kind. And that is a way that you can develop a practice of love towards yourself. All right, so that leads me to practice number 6. And practice number 6 is giving yourself gifts. Now, you may say that that sounds really, really frivolous, but I'm going to help you understand why it is not. Okay. So, first and foremost, I want you to think about Christmas time. Most of us celebrate Christmas or some holiday where we give gifts. And most of us will go broke to make sure that we give gifts on that holiday. Okay, we may do layaway, we may run up credit cards. Listen, that's oftentimes where most indebtedness happens. It's when we are trying to give gifts to others. There is nothing wrong with giving a gift to yourself. You deserve a gift, you deserve a sacrifice to yourself as well. And so, what does that gift to you look like? It doesn't have to be a Louis Vuitton bag or something expensive. It doesn't have to be something big. But what kind of small gifts are you giving yourself through the week? It could be the gift of grace. It could be, for me, sometimes it's buying myself a new pretty journal or some nice pens that I could write in my journal. Or I could buy myself some flowers because I like flowers and they make me feel good. It could be having a meal alone in solitude, or it could be taking a staycation. There are so many different ways that we can gift ourselves um, and demonstrate to ourselves that we care about ourselves as well. Yes, it's wonderful to care about others. It's important to care about others. But how you care about yourself speaks volumes to how you really care about others and how you feel about yourself. So that would be love practice number 6. Now I'm at the last practice. Last practice. Love practice number 7 is to call out the lies. Now, listen, when you were little and you were believing some crazy stuff, your parents were like, no, I don't know about that. No, that's not true. Or you would tell a little story here or there. Your parents were quick to say, no, that's not true, and then tell you the truth, hopefully. And a lot of times, we as women, we are telling ourselves lies that we're not good enough, that we're not worth it, that nobody cares. There's so many lies that we tell ourselves. And so I challenge you, as part of your love practice, get you a journal, call out the lies, put them out on paper, and then fill them with the truth, replace them with the truth of what is really going on. Because as long as we continue to build those lies, it chips away at the love that we have for ourselves. So, y'all, that's it. I really hope you got something out of today. I hope that you are going to leave this Facebook Live and decide, hey, I want to develop a love practice. And I've given you 7 ways that you can build your own love practice um, and be able to love yourself in a way that's going to allow you to love other people even better. So if you missed them real quick on the recap, it's love practice number 1, know your needs. Love practice number 2, look out for your best interests. Love practice number 3, build up and affirm yourself. Love practice number 4, invest in you. Love practice number 5, expect you're going to make mistakes. Love practice number 6, give yourself a little gift. And love practice number 7, call out the lies. Call out the lies. Be honest and call out the lies. Listen, if you listen to this today and you got anything out of it, I would ask that you would do one of 3 things for me: like, comment, or share. Like, comment, or share, or all 3 if you're feeling extra generous today. That's how people find out about us. And if you want to learn more about how you can develop a practice of love, where you're not sitting around waiting for somebody else to fill your cup for you, but you have developed a practice that allows you to regularly fill your cup for you, then write down in the comments or shoot me a DM letting me know, hey, I'd love to learn more. I have a course that's coming up just next week where we are going to practice how to develop a love practice in the sense of moving from a busy lifestyle to a purposeful one. Because as you love yourself, you will develop a more purposeful lifestyle for yourself as well. So thank you so much for listening today. I'm so glad you joined. I am excited about this next new month that's coming in. We get another chance to work and grow and get better in the areas that we desire. And I hope that you will join me as we do that in the month of February as we study Love Is. If you missed it, I'm Nigel Drakes, founder of Spark or Blaze, where we empower women to spark their flame so that they can blaze their uniquely divine trail. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you have a great Saturday.